Well, I'm Victor Pichardo. I'm the Assembly Member-elect for the 86th Assembly District in the West Bronx. Immediately before I ran for office, I was the Director of the Director of Community Affairs for State Senator Gustavo Rivera, Senator for the 33rd State Senate District. And before that, in terms of my government job, in terms of my government work, I was the Community Outreach Coordinator for Senator Chuck Schumer in New York City. And I had a very, very brief stint as the Associate Director for Public Relations for Mercy College in Dobbs Ferry. So the best day for me, besides, I would have to say, is getting elected. I've helped, at least a half a dozen to a dozen other individuals get elected or help them on their campaigns, and I always saw the joy of agony, the joy of victory and the agony of defeat. And for myself, it was quite a learning experience, and I'm just very humbled at the fact that my neighbors chose me to represent them in Albany. So I would say that is probably the most successful day I've ever had. I've never worked so incredibly hard for anything in my life, and it's just incredibly humbling, rewarding, and incredibly grateful for this opportunity to serve my community in this capacity. I slept. It was, I had to field a few phone calls here and there, but I really just, I had to heal a broken body. Thousands of steps going up and down buildings and saying hello to my neighbors and introducing myself, and just needed a few winks, so to speak. It was quite a grueling process. What can I say? I would have to say it's Chuck Schumer. Besides, I don't know if my history is that I got involved into government because I saw what Senator Schumer did for my family in closing a really dark chapter in our lives and bringing justice to my family, but also the fact that how hard he works and how he loves just being a senator and being a public servant. And if anything, I would like to emulate that in my own career, and I've always strived to do that. And that's he's a hell of a guy. What can I say? Well, it was from Senator Schumer, and basically what he told me is that never forget why you're in government. You're here to work for your neighbors and to serve your community, and always understand that government can be used for a force for good. Especially if people who are in elected office understand that responsibility and how to make government work for Doña Juana down the street and my neighbors who live in my building or down the way. It's always that. You always never forget that, and you'll never lose your way. What's really funny? I've had, this is sort of a recurring joke with my circle of friends. And they said if you ever became of some notable importance or something like that, you would probably have Ice Cube play me in a movie, because we have sort of similar features. It's like we're sort of stocky and kind of have the same glare and kind of the same kind of delivery when it comes to our manner of speak. So Ice Cube, if I do become famous, I'd love you to play me in a movie, and would love to have a cup of coffee with you. It'd be pretty interesting. I've said this over and over again, but I'm incredibly humbled for the opportunity to serve as a member of the Assembly and to represent my community in Albany. And it always starts from very humble beginnings. I'm incredibly grateful and incredibly humbled, and I'm very grateful for having a strong core of supporters, including, well, my mother and my father in particular. My father is actually a Republican, and we always have really interesting conversations about politics and how government works. And my mother has been sort of my #1 fan, and she's been out there with me since like before anyone knew me, and I'm just incredibly grateful to have their love and their support. And it's been quite a fun ride. What can I say?